Download the free Coast TV First Alert Weather app today.
We are slowly making our way through this week. It's now Tuesday as we get ready. Got snow ahead in the forecast. That's something to worry about. But on snowy days, movies make a lot of sense. And we're going to talk about a movie situation here in just a second. First, we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Charlie Sokaitis.
I'm Leah Rizzo, and thanks for joining us today on Coast Life. But yeah, movies are a great way to spend a snow day. I even watched a movie on Saturday just because I was feeling, a little slow and snuggly, and you're like, oh, it's just a good way to start the day. But there are some sequels out there that are better than others, and there are some sequels that are considerably worse than others. And this happened because they said now that they have confirmed that a Goonies sequel is in the works. And I feel like this is one of those movies that it can be done, and it can be done really well, but there's also a lot of room to be like,
you can mess it up.
You can mess it up very easily.
You can mess it up. It's a great movie. It's a movie that is it's a perfect, for what it is, a perfect movie. So you got to be careful when you're treading on something that pulls at people's nostalgia a little bit.
And I think that's kind of the tricky thing about picking movies that were nostalgic of the 80s and 90s and trying to make sequels that fit into the modern world, because what was so charming about the 80s and 90s doesn't have much of a place here anymore. It is pre-technology. It's the payphone days. Like, there's a lot of slowness, even in just the way a movie was put together in the 80s and 90s.
Very much so.
You had to sit through opening credits. I feel like now, on almost every movie, you're kind of just dropped right in the action, and you're like, where are we? But there was an art to doing the opening credits. So are there any sequels of a film that you actually would really want to see? Could be a TV show, too, because I feel like there's also been the era of revivals that we have been in, many of them leaving some to be desired.
So to me, it depends on how we actually mean the word sequel, because I think that there's a lot of movies that had great ideas that maybe would be fun to reboot.
Yes.
I don't always need a sequel 30 years later with the exact same people in the same roles. It doesn't always have connective tissue that makes a lot of sense. However, there are some movies that were made in, say, the 80s and 90s where the technology wasn't quite up to snuff when it comes to CGI and stuff that I would like to see remade. So, and this one they're talking about doing, I understand Henry Cavill may be in it, is Highlander.
Ah, okay.
And so Highlander's a movie with horrible special effects. It's just very, very bad. But I like the idea of the movie, and I think they could do it very well now compared to how they did it then.
Okay, I can see. So a reboot for Highlander. I actually think The Goonies, a sequel with the main characters, because it's sort of that childlike adventure. Like, if it's something with they're the parents and they've got the kids.
It's their kids that go on the adventure.
This could be a charming, like, there's so much opportunity for it to be really cute and sweet. I think for me, though, the one movie that I was always dying for a sequel, and I don't think I'm ever going to get, National Treasure 3.
I'm right there. I'd love to see National Treasure 3.
There was a cliffhanger at the end. We had the president's book. Like, we had the clues, just no treasure hunt to finish it off.
Listen,
staying in the treasure hunting vein.
Nick Cage has never said no to a movie. So I think we can make this happen if we want to. He's in every movie that has ever existed. So
I know.
Let's roll out National Treasure 3. There's no reason not to do it. They're perfectly pleasant movies.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there's a little bit of danger, but it's not, over the top. Kids can enjoy it. Parents can enjoy it.
Like, they are unironically some of my favorite movies.
I love
like,
those
if you're in a
flicks.
bad mood, just throw on National Treasure and you're like, I have to know everything about American history now and go on an adventure. Yeah,
so I'm right there with that. And then on the TV side, I would say you could bring back X-Files. I see there's no reason why. No, I think you'd need to do it with new characters. Maybe Scully and Mulder have a couple cameos here and there,
I think that'd be fun.
But they're not the main people because the world is so much different now than it was in the 90s, even though there's still plenty of stuff to talk about. I mean, you'd have a whole arc about the drones off New Jersey would be its entire segment in that show. So
that is so true. Now, were there any that you got particularly burned by? Like, was there a sequel that you were excited for? You saw it and you were like, oh.
I mean, the sad answer is most of them.
I know.
You know, like most of them don't work or they're not better. And actually, prequels bother me even a little more than sequels do.
Interesting. Okay.
Because you already know where it's going. I don't want to know
Yeah, it's
where
gotta be
things are
really-
going to end up. So that's a little bit different for me. I'm a bigger fan of sequels than prequels for the most part.
I feel like Rogue One was probably one of the well-done prequels that lead like...
Rogue One is incredible.
Because you've got a completely unique set of characters that don't make any other appearances really as your kind of core group.
Yeah.
And then it leads up to the big, like, oh man.
But Rogue One's interesting because, and this is the way you can successfully do a prequel, it's kind of like a bottle episode of a movie. Like it's this offshoot thing that does have connective tissue. You do know where it's going, but it's done so expertly, and the things that happen, that doesn't really bleed out into any of the other lore. You don't really have to know a lot to get into it. You could watch Rogue One as a standalone movie, not knowing anything, and really enjoy it in the Star Wars universe. Those to me are the best kind of prequels. When it's something that's going to have, you know, tentacles going into all the different parts of the stuff that we already know about. I'm a little less on board.
No, I think that's fair. I think I got burned so badly by Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life that I have so much trouble being optimistic for TV sequels, because I was like, that was the one that I wanted so badly because of the way the series ended up ending in its original form. Was the original writers weren't a part of the like second to last season when things get really messy and you're like, why is this happening? And everybody's acting out of character. That's why. And so they didn't really get to wrap up the series the way they wanted to. So I was excited for that one, only for it to really just not meet anyone's expectations.
I think the tricky part when you're doing any of these, going back to something else, is you can't really recapture that nostalgic moment. The actors involved aren't in the same places in their career, not only age-wise, but also sometimes literally in their career. Like this might have been their defining thing. Once you go back, they're at a whole different place. They're not bringing the exact same emotions to it. I think that those are tricky minefields to navigate. But obviously, one thing that's been successful is IP. You know, people obviously are always wanting something to bring people in so you can get their attention. It's what makes original stories harder to start.
This is true.
So I understand why sequels happen, prequels happen, reboots happen. We're pretty easy to get that way, but it doesn't always make for the most creative watch.
No, that is true. That is true. Switching gears a little bit as we set our eyes towards eventually some warmer weather, hopefully. Maybe you've got some travel plans. So when it comes to the airport, completely lawless land, all rules are off, or do you still behave kind of as you would?
I behave as I would, but I understand why the airport is this lawless, purgatory in between. You've got some people on their way to a vacation and they're trying to kick things off. It's 6 a.m. and they're having their third beer and you're like, I don't know what's going on over there. And then you've got some people sleeping on the floor. You've got some people that are just letting their kids run amok all over the place because they're like, I don't know, burn yourself out before the flight.
Yeah, no, I do. I get it. And I think I'm just one of those that like, I'm so aware that I'm in a public space that I'm like, I might lay on the floor, and that's like the extent of my airport.
Yeah, that's you dipping your toes into the...
That's me letting loose at the airport. And I think because I find it so stressful that I want to be as most sound of mind and body as I can, that I'm like, okay, I know I won't miss my flight. I know I'm at the right gate. I know all of these things, and like then I can relax. But like first you got to get to that gate.
Well, I mean, and I think stress is part of this whole thing. I think a lot of people get stressed out with travel, whether it is making sure you're making a connection and you're like running through the airport and somebody's getting body checked as you slip through. Or it is, having to deal with a desk and not getting the information you want, even if it might have been your fault. Those kinds of things do happen. I think that it creates a perfect storm for bad behavior.
Yeah. All right. Well, something to keep in mind as you do
try to
plan your vacations. Try to be a good person. Don't try to open any doors mid-flight. That's one that never quite has made sense to me.
I'll never understand that.
I don't like. Is that clickbait? Are we doing it for the viral views? I don't know that one.
But it scares me.
It scares me too. So behave yourself out there. Be the light you want to see in the world. And if that includes behaving at the airport, so be it. But we know that you'll behave here on Coast Life. Have a good time here. Let's see what's coming up today on the show. We've got another great debate coming your way, and this one is a juicy one that has to do with your role in friendship.
And we're going all the way over to Italy for a topic of conversation. Special Olympics. It's a torch run situation, and somebody from right here on Delmarva is taking part.
Cannot wait for that one. And some of our birds are in danger. We are going to be talking with our friends at Maryland Coastal Bays about what we can do to help. All that fun and more is coming up on Coast Life.
Coast Life is sponsored by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
You want to admit anything?
Just admit that you suck.
World War III is afoot.
You are nothing but a cheat.
It's unbelievable.
Temple is on fire.
Deal or No Deal Island, tonight on NBC and Peacock.
So you're the mighty Ted Black.
I'm who they send when they have no chance, but they need a win.
Remember this guy, Harvey, the only person cockier than you.
That's exactly why I liked him.
Stanley Steamer is proud to be the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses across America every year, using powerful equipment custom built by us. We'll remove the buildup of dirt, dust, allergens, grime, and contaminants seen and unseen from your home and business. America's professional deep cleaner for over 75 years. It's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Limited space holding you back? Dive into your dreams with Miller Pools and Outdoor Living.
Our concrete pools are long-lasting and fully customizable to fit anywhere in your outdoor living space. Whether you're dreaming of an elegant design or something simple, we'll guide you through the process every step of the way. We prioritize your schedule and offer special financing options. We also specialize in pool decks, built-in pool bars, cabanas, outdoor kitchens, renovations, and upgrades.
Call Miller Pools and Outdoor Living for summer 2025 pool cleaning and service.
The real estate industry was broken, but change is here and the Parker Group is leading the charge.
We're proud to introduce our groundbreaking 3.5% listing fee. Sell with us and you could save thousands of dollars.
Our cutting-edge technology delivers significant savings that we pass on to you. Our world-class marketing and dedicated team provide the human touch and unparalleled expertise that you deserve.
As passionate advocates for a more transparent and equitable selling experience, we're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Welcome to a new era of real estate with the Parker Group.
This is the revolutionary socket fan by Bell & Howell. The amazing 2-in-1 ceiling fan and light. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can hang the socket fan light. Socket fan comes with this handy remote. You can control the light and the breeze that you need. Socket fan fits any standard light socket. You can do it yourself in less than 10 seconds.
And now, the socket fan lights with deep socket extender is yours for $49.95 with free shipping. Order now, and you can get a second fan for 50% off.
Get cool fast with Socket Fan.
If you fancy yourself good with a turn of phrase or maybe a bit of a writer, you might enjoy this next segment. We've got Lisa Locke, the co-coordinator for Renew Essays. And Lisa, this is a writing competition.
That's right.
What can you tell us about it?
So this is hosted by Delaware Interfaith Power Light. Mm-hmm. This is our 4th year.
Wow.
And it is an essay contest for all high school students in Delaware. And it centers around climate change.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
A very important topic.
It is very important, and it's very important to them.
Yes, and I think that's great to see from, the next crop of young people that they are passionate about taking care of the environment.
That's
Renew
right.
is actually an acronym for you guys. What does that stand for?
Reflective essays on Earth, nature, and their wonders.
Perfect. Many wonders to be held.
So you said this is year 4.
Yes.
How did this all get going, and what really inspired you guys to start it?
So the other co-coordinator, Charanjit Singh Minhas, who is one of the board members, it was interesting, we were like on parallel paths, that he came up with an idea that he wanted to sponsor an essay contest. I had experience with this back in Michigan with the business community, which is interesting. Okay. And it was inspired by a book, Moral Ground, Ethical Action for a Planet in Peril. It's one of my favorite environmental books, and it's a collection of over 80 essays from all over the world by writers, politicians, theologians, activists, poets, all reflecting on our moral obligation to care for the earth and thus for each other. So that's where that original idea came, and I did this once or a few times in Michigan, so brought it here. So Charanjit and I compared, got together and put this program together, and it's just been so exciting. Every year we pretty much double the number of entries, the number of schools that are involved, and just keep finding ways to get these youth voices out.
And so how long are these essays? What are we talking about when it comes to the contest? Are we talking about a page, 10 pages? What are we looking at?
It's 1,500 words,
Perfect.
So 2 or 3 pages, and there's 3 topics they can choose from, and sometimes they combine them. So it's youth climate action, environmental justice, and their own personal sense of experience with the natural world.
I like
and
that
how
one.
it inspires them and enriches their life.
I love that. Now, you actually brought some quotes that I think might
did.
inspire us.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing some of these?
Sure. This is from Rudra Patel at Delmar High School. From 6 billion kilometers out, Voyager 1 captured an image of Earth. It was a minuscule speck, barely enough to occupy even a pixel on its camera, surrounded by the great vastness of space. While this pale blue dot seems insignificant in the large cosmos, it harbors all of humanity and the myriad of organisms that roam this planet. This thought-provoking image reminds me of my shared experience with the wonders of the natural, tiny, celestial body.
That's incredible.
Wow. Isn't that a beautiful? And he wrote that in 9th grade.
Wow.
Right. I do want to share with you I was trying to think of the word for this, but something that should capture our attention very seriously. And that is, it's not that I see this a lot in the essays, but I see it come up, not only in these, but in some college students I've talked to, in my own daughter, one of my own daughters. They are so concerned about this topic, they reconsider bringing children into the world. And that's something I think that we need to take very seriously. And then, short of that, what their own life is going to be like ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, but then there is that other side that they are empowered.
Yes.
And they want to do something. Just an interesting side to this, have you heard about the Youth Environmental Summit?
No.
This is a fourth or fifth year. This is remarkable. Every year, and it's right about this time, it's been coordinated through Plastic Free Delaware and a lot of other organizations.
Yes.
They bring students together from all over the state for an entire day during the week and the students help plan the entire thing it's all focused on the environment. This year, I think they have 500 students bussed in from schools around the state for this.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's an incredible number.
There is a wave of passion and motivation about this. They're going back to their schools and saying, hey, we don't have a recycling program. Let's start a composting. Let's put together a garden.
Yes.
So, right? Isn't that great? And we want to learn about these things.
Yes.
And not only that, then, they are taking themselves to Leg Hall to meet with their legislators to talk about these things. Very cool. The last 2 years, and I'm sure again this year, the winning students have been invited to the State House and the Senate to be recognized by the legislators.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So Lisa, if you've got some passionate young people in your family that really care and they've got a lot to say about it, how can they partake in this Renew Essay Contest?
All right, and so it's coming up. We are starting to receive the essays between February 26th and March 11.
All right, so it's coming up quick.
That's right. And by the way, we have $8,000 in prizes, in cash awards for the students. The first prize is $2,000.
Hey.
And what can that be used for? Is it specifically scholarship money, or is it just prize money in general?
No, it's up to our hope would be, it's considered scholarship money, but there's no ties.
No strings attached.
No strings attached, right. But we'll have a awards ceremony around Earth Day.
So get that keyboard out and start punching away. There's some money on the line.
I will be reading every one of them.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for coming in today and talking to us about the Renew Essay Contest. That was a great way to start the show.
It really is, yeah.
I'm feeling all kinds of empowered and excited for the youth and for our future. So thank you, Lisa. But we've got some more coast life that maybe you'll feel empowered to share about, and ways that we can take care of our coastal bays when we get back.
Every morning, we choose how to begin.
When we step through the morning together, we walk through the rest of our day feeling just a little bit better.
We come here to make the most of today. We are each other's people. We are today.
The Stanley Cup crime spree. Cops say they're trying to get away with 28 of the mugs. Look at the stolen loot in this getaway car, packed with Stanley Cups. Next, Inside Edition.
Today at 5:30 on Coast TV.
Ready to upgrade your drive? Visit buyatoyota.com or scan this QR code and start your journey today. Ready for anything with comfort that lasts the whole trip? Your new RAV4 is waiting, with deals just a click away. Right now, buy a new Toyota RAV4 with low 4.99% APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, I'm Tommy K. Morse.
And I'm Tom Morse. We are your local family-owned roofing contractor serving Sussex County, providing long-lasting, dependable roofs, roof repairs, storm damage restoration, insurance claims assistance, and complete roof replacements.
For more information, give us a call at 302-663-0042 or visit us on the web.
There's good.
There's better.
And then there's Morse.
When's the last time you had your deck inspected? It's important to check for damage and loose boards.
We recommend inspecting your deck every 2 years.
Why not check it off your list now? Paul Davis offers free deck inspections year-round,
giving you peace of mind that your deck is safe and secure.
Our winter blowout sale is extended through February. Half off labor, a free fire pit, and no interest, no payments until 2026. Don't wait until the spring. Call Paul Davis for your free deck inspection today.
Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
For 150 years, Ocean City, Maryland has been somewhere to smile about. From our beautiful beaches to our iconic boardwalk, we've been creating memories that last a lifetime, whether you're chasing the perfect wave, a hole-in-one, or a sunset stroll. Celebrate our 150th anniversary with 150 days of celebrations, special events, and deals all year long. Book now and save in 2025 at ococean.com/150. Ocean City, Maryland, somewhere to smile about.
Every visit is an adventure at Browse About Books in Rehoboth Beach. Search our hand-picked book collection and find something in every genre. From bestsellers to some of our staff picks, you'll uncover a new adventure every time. After you've browsed our extensive book selection, explore our gift shop, where you'll find an exciting array of toys, gifts, Rehoboth-themed items, and home decor. Browse About Books on Rehoboth Avenue, a fun, friendly place to shop for books and so much more.
Well, Coast Life, if you are anything like me back in the day, maybe you were a Girl Scout, and one of the mantras is to leave things cleaner than you found it, which sometimes, we struggle with when it comes to taking care of the environment. And I think it's no secret that sea levels have been proven by science to be rising, and it's taken a toll on a lot of the birds that come through and visit our area.
Bird population struggling a little bit, and that's why we have a great guest today. We're going to get into a little bit of the science of all of this.
Yes, we've got Kim Abplanalp joining us today, and you are the bird habitat coordinator of this really interesting project with Maryland Coastal Bays. So tell us about this project, how it sort of came about, and how it's doing.
Okay, well, Maryland Coastal Bays teamed up with Audubon Mid-Atlantic and the Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Heritage Service in order to build an artificial island for some state-listed endangered species. And the reason we did that is because over, let's say 40 years, but particularly the last 20 years, the amount of island erosion has increased significantly due to sea level rise. With that, then the water birds have nowhere to go. Birds depend on islands
to breed because they have non-mammalian predators. So there's no fox out there or raccoons. So
nobody to come mess it all up.
Right. They do have avian predators, like a big gull or a peregrine falcon or something like that can prey. But for the most part, islands are safe for colonial water birds to nest. But more and more what happens in these islands is that birds will begin to, they'll pick a mate, then they'll lay eggs, and then a huge spring high tide. Or some of those real big high tides that we're getting that are unseasonable now. I mean, they used to be less frequent, now they're more frequent, and then they'll come away and they'll wash away the eggs. So in the meantime, Maryland Coastal Bays is an estuary program, one of 28 estuary programs in the United States, and it involves 5 coastal bays of Maryland, from Assawoman Bay down to Chincoteague. And that's our charge. So we take care of all of the birds in that area.
You have a children's book that's also centered around this project. Tell us about it.
So one of the things that this book, just to give you an idea about that island, the first year it got in a little late in May, and we had 23 nests the first year. The second year we had 155 breeding pairs. Good. And the last 2 years we've had over 300 pairs now nesting on the raft. And so we wanted to sort of we wanted to teach children. Part of our program has an education department in Maryland Coastal Bays, and we do a lot of outreach. We have a lot of children's programs. And we wanted to write a book to sort of get kids more involved and what's right in their own backyard.
Yeah, no, it's a great cause and a great mission that you guys have with Maryland Coastal Bays and the Department of Natural Resources and all that you're doing. So if people do want to get a hold of this book and read it with their kids, how can they do that, and how can they get involved with this project if they want?
Well, I do take volunteers, but that's not children at this point because we're working with live birds. But they can come. We'll be having, at the office we have these books. We also have it online on our website, marylandcoastalbays.org. And then I'll be doing some different talking series at different bookstores, and probably in Rehoboth and in Ocean City, so we'll get the word out.
Sure. Well, Kim, we know that this is an extremely important project, and again, it's never too early to get your kids involved, so maybe pick up this book and start their journey of being passionate about saving our feathered friends in addition to our human ones, because like you said, that is such a big draw in our area. And Kim, thank you for coming in to talk about all of this.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
Of course. Well, speaking of the coast, there's more Coast Life coming your way when we get back.
Upgrade your ride at Preston Ford's Fuel Up Your Savings sales event. Preston Ford has over 1,000 new Ford and pre-owned vehicles waiting for you to drive home today. If you have solid credit, you could qualify for 72 months financing at 0% APR on a 2024 Mustang Mach-E Select or 2024 Ford F-150 Lightning. Visit PrestonFord.com to check out all of our savings and specials. Join us at the Fuel Up Your Savings sales event at Preston Ford. And remember, cars cost less in Preston.
We believe that a great community health system reflects the community it serves. And like Sussex County itself, we've been on an exciting journey of growth and transformation, evolving from a trusted community hospital to the region's premier healthcare provider and Sussex County's most comprehensive health system. We're proud to be on this journey together, miles ahead, but by your side the entire way, because Sussex County is our specialty.
Whoa, Matt, you need a little help with that?
Whoa, David Akers.
Yes, please. Kick the competition to the curb with Matt, the carpet guy.
What in the world? Where did that come from?
When it comes to flooring, don't pick the big box stores.
The team at Matt the Carpet Guy provides quality flooring, exceptional service, and of course, affordable pricing. Matt the Carpet Guy, flooring done right.
Rules don't apply when it comes to designing your home or business's interior. At Mood Design Studio, we break away from typical design norms to craft one-of-a-kind spaces that belong on the pages of a magazine. Choose from a bold selection of exclusive wallpaper designs and fabrics, plus a curated selection of furniture, making any room a showstopper. Need guidance? We'll assist you in planning your space's scope and budget for a streamlined, stress-free experience. For a complimentary consultation, visit Mood Design Studio in Lewis today.
Be careful when getting quotes for a new roof. There may be important things left out. Always ask, are they properly licensed and insured? Are they installing the proper amount of ice and water shield? Are they removing and replacing your siding to install new flashing? Are they checking the attic and soffit for ventilation? Are they protecting your home during installation? When you choose Spicer Brothers, you can have peace of mind that your new roof and all the details will be professionally installed for a lifetime.
To learn more, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Big 107.7 and 107.1 The Duck are giving you a chance to win a trip to see the Eagles live in Las Vegas at the Sphere. Submit a video of yourself performing an Eagles song to BigClassicRock.com or 1071theduck.com. 5 finalists will be invited to Crawl Street Tavern on March 22nd to sing a randomly selected Eagles song live with Fuzzbox Piranha. The lucky winner is headed to Vegas to see the Eagles live. Listen to Big 107.7 and 107.1 The Duck for details or visit our websites.
Well, sometimes you need that little adrenaline rush of getting into a disagreement, an argument, if you will, and that's why on Tuesdays we love to do our great debate. And this is a good one because I actually, I don't really know exactly where I stand on this one, but when it comes to friendships, are you always an honest friend or do you spare your friends' feelings?
I have a very firm stance on this, so do you want to weigh in or do you want me to come in here?
You can go first.
I think that if you are always 100% honest with your friends, you're not going to have any friends. I don't think that everybody agrees on everything all the time. And I think that if you're honest about certain things that maybe bother you about somebody else, it's going to grate on that other person. And a lot of times, you got to remember, how you feel on Tuesday might not be how you feel on Wednesday, too. Sometimes you might be in a bad mood and somebody might be getting on your nerves in a way just because you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
So you do have to be socially conscious. Now, if it is a really important issue and if it's something that your friends have been struggling with, it is okay to be honest with them about certain things. You probably want to couch it in a positive manner, like, I see where you're coming from, but maybe X, Y, Z is a reason that a different solution might work here, or that maybe you're not seeing yourself as a little out of line on that one. Mm-hmm. So you can have serious, real, honest conversations with your friends, but it can't be every conversation, and it can't be mean-spirited either. You have to take your friend and their feelings into account, even when you're disagreeing with them.
And I think that mean-spiritedness is sort of the key element for me here, because I think, it is important to be honest with your friends, especially if they specifically ask you for your honest opinion, your honest advice. And I think you can still be kind about it, even if what your honesty is a critique in this situation, because I think that is important. But one of my biggest pet peeves are when people are like, oh, I have no filter. I say what I want. Yep. That is how I am. And I'm like, and that's why people don't like you. Yep. Like, you don't have to be mean. You can have less of a filter. You can say things the way they are, but I still think you can be kind about it.
There's a way to be authentic,
yes,
without being rude.
Cruel, yeah, rude. And so I think for me, that's that key difference, is being kind where and when you can, even if what you're saying to a friend might be a little harsh in the moment. I think it's the hardest read on those sort of situations is when to step in. If you know a friend is struggling and maybe you have some thoughts on how you would do something differently, it's so tempting to always be like, I'm really worried about you and here's why. And like, it just, timing is everything, I think, in those moments.
A lot of times when it's something serious, you almost have to wait for them to come to you.
Yeah.
And even in that case, I think that there is some interesting ground, because if say you're talking about the person that person's in a relationship with, you've got to tread lightly, because if they stay in that relationship and you have repeatedly given advice that maybe that's not their person, they're eventually just going to cut you out. I always feel like you can give that advice one time, and then you got to kind of let it go until they come back to ask you about it.
Yes, and again, I think when they come to you in a moment of either intense seriousness or it is a bad situation, and you're more than, I think the problem is when we do share our opinions, maybe unprompted, that's when our friends then have trouble coming back to us because they're so afraid of, I thought you were going to say I told you so.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, you don't want to notice after you've had some disagreements with your friend that suddenly the phone's not ringing as much, the texts aren't going through, they're a little worried about talking to you about serious things because they think they're just going to kind of be attacked for the decisions they've made, and that's never the best way to A, build a friendship, or B, even help somebody see the light. Like they're going to kind of turtle up and go into their shell if that's how they feel about it.
I think it's a little bit of pick your battles too. I mean, I think generally I am an honest friend, an honest person, but I'm not going to be honest about every little thing that bothers me about a friend maybe, because again, that's asking for trouble. So I think there's lots of things that I'm willing to say, you know, that's what floats your boat. It doesn't necessarily float mine, and that is okay. We're still friends, and that battle is not as important to me as maybe something that has to do with their overall health and well-being.
Right, I completely agree. So typically, I mean, you should be honest with people in general, but again, not rude. Like if somebody walks in some bright yellow coat that you don't like, you don't need to be like, what's happening here?
Hey, Big Bird,
this is terrible. like let them have their thing. Don't yuck someone else's yum.
Yes.
But if they're like, hey, I'm having a really hard time with this thing in my life, and they've been making some tough decisions or bad decisions, you can then have an honest conversation. And because you've built up trust throughout the other interactions, it might mean more.
Yeah. All right. There you go. This was a tough one, but I like this. You know, we peeled back a couple layers. So you can always participate in our great debate either in the comments on Facebook, or you can always go to coastlife.com/vote, and we will revisit the results at the end of the week. But for now, we've got some more Coast Life to get to. That's on the way.
Liberty Concrete and Enhancements. Delmarva's decorative concrete specialists. Transform your outdoor space with stamped concrete. Choose a design, color, and turn your outside into a conversation piece.
Working with Liberty Concrete was a very easy process. It's little to no maintenance at all. We love our outdoor space.
Create a beautiful space without the maintenance of pavers that's backed by our workmanship warranty. Call now for a free estimate and design your perfect outdoor space with Liberty Concrete and Enhancements. Spark your senses at the Spice and Tea Exchange in Rehoboth Beach. Food lovers, home chefs, and tea enthusiasts rejoice. Smell and sample your way through hundreds of exotic spices and teas from around the world. Our signature blends and rubs are hand-mixed daily to ensure the highest quality and freshness. Talk to our tea experts and learn the wellness benefits of drinking fresh, loose-leaf premium teas. Find a tasteful gift for that special someone or join us for an in-store cooking demo. Find your way to flavor at the Spice and Tea Exchange on the Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. Sister locations in Annapolis, Maryland, and Old Town Alexandria, Virginia.
Hey, are you the bad guy? Mercy, is that Courtney my biggest fan?
Oh my goodness, Courtney. As a nurse, I knew that I needed this done. Peninsula Bath really listened to us. Very, very professional, very friendly. The whole team made us feel like family. Thank you, Peninsula Bath, for everything that you did to make Courtney's life easy.
Thank you, Heather.
It warms our heart to help. Call us today at Peninsula Bath for all your bathroom renovation needs.
I started Shell's Early Learning Centers with a vision
that all children, no matter their background, could have a place to build lasting friendships, eat good meals, learn, and play, building the foundation for a stronger future. At Shell's, we embrace an open-door policy, offering a warm and welcoming environment where every family feels valued and heard. Enroll your child now in our summer camp and fall program at Shell's Early Learning Center in Milton, Harrington, or one of our other 2 Kent County locations. Limited spaces available.
You want to admit anything?
Just admit that you suck.
World War III is afoot.
You are nothing but a cheat.
It's unbelievable. Temple is on fire.
Deal or No Deal Island, tonight on NBC and Peacock.
So you're the mighty Ted Black.
I'm who they send when they have no chance, but they need a win.
Remember this guy? Harvey, the only person cockier than you.
That's exactly why I liked him.
Well, you know that here on Coast Life, we are friends of Special Olympics. And at the beginning of this month, Charlie and I ran into the ocean for Special Olympics of Delaware.
That's a thing that we did. There's visual evidence, and it was very cool.
Well, we're not the only ones that care for our Special Olympic athletes. So do some of Ocean City's finest. We've got Neshawn Jubilee joining us on the Coast Life couch. Corporal Neshawn Jubilee, thank you so much for joining us today
Thank you for having us.
talking about what you're involved in, because it's really, really cool.
It's super cool.
But first, talk to us a little bit about your involvement with Special Olympics, how you kind of got the bug, because once you find out about Special Olympics, that's it.
Right. No, awesome. Yeah. So I've been with Ocean City now since 2012 as a police officer, and I've always been involved in Special Olympics. Our torch run, which is an annual run we have on the boardwalk, we get together, we sell some T-shirts. We all collectively, police officers, community members, kids, the schools, it's fun. We get together, we run a run on the boardwalk. And that was my first exposure really to Special Olympics, which was absolutely incredible. The kids coming out, the athletes, just the experiences you gain from all that. That was my first introduction to Special Olympics.
And you see those smiles once you get around the kids and you're out there and they're excited. And they must be, I would imagine, when they see an officer, get excited about that too.
Oh, of course, yeah. They want to come over and touch your equipment and get in the police car and press all the buttons and things like that. And for me, that was an aha moment for me, where I really, understood the value and appreciated that. The kids just wanting to be around us, and they always talk about how they get so much out of, the officers' interaction, but people just don't realize how much as an officer we get from them. Their tenacity, their ambition, their drive just to want to do well and exceed is really what drives me to want to be involved.
And there's that joy too.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
seem to have almost unconditional joy. Even just participating in these events.
Absolutely, absolutely. No matter what the day is, if they're happy, sad, sick, or healthy, they're still happy overall, and that's what's great about it.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't necessarily realize about Special Olympics as an organization is that, the skills that the athletes learn and even just the socialization that the athletes get with those programs
absolutely
is all things that maybe we get in our regular working day, or things that we get in a world that's kind of built for us and not necessarily built with the athletes of Special Olympics in mind. So it's an awesome program. And I love that you said that, they inspire you guys on the police force too, because I think from our point of view, it's like, well, they're already the bravest people.
Right. And it's cool because it's just something for everyone. Like you said, it's just, no matter what the age is, there's something for them to all be involved in, and they truly find their purpose when they get involved and plugged in with Special Olympics. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I know that you have another big leg of this run coming up for Special Olympics, and we are going to get into those details as soon as Coast Life gets back, so sit tight.
Coastal Comfort knows there's no place like home. It's where we can be totally comfortable being ourselves, making a mess, making improvements, making strides, making memories with those we love, totally. Big or small, at the beach, or on the farm, all along the Eastern Shore. It's home, and Coastal Comfort is always here to keep you totally comfortable.
Coastal Comfort, a Carrier Factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Clap if you love your shell house. Grace sold us our house in Marsh Island. It was just like instant, we're gonna be friends. We couldn't be happier. We instantly clicked from the second we saw our lot to having each other at our son's birthday parties. It's so comforting to have someone help you through something that can be super overwhelming. Shell is happiness and Shell's home. And Shell is friends.
It's friends. I was gonna say that.
Every story that we do, number one, it affects us as well because we live here and this is our community as well. A lot of times in the media in general, there are stories that are put out that maybe are not the most popular. Maybe people don't want us to do certain stories, or maybe people question, why are we doing those stories? But I just want our viewers to realize that there is a motivation for every story that we do. Our longtime owner, Mr. Thomas Draper, had a saying that we have a moral obligation to serve the people of Delmarva. And that saying really still rings true to this day in how we make our news coverage decisions. It doesn't necessarily mean the stories that we cover will be the most popular. Some people don't want light to be shed on those stories. But I hope viewers can understand there is a motivation for everything that we do, because at our core is the belief that we have that moral obligation to serve them, to give them news that is important to their communities, that could help them on their day-to-day activities. That is something that we always live with, and we have that through line through all of our work. And I just hope people can understand that is really what motivates us to get through every single story we do.
Coast TV, our community, your news.
Well, Coast Life, before the break, we were chatting with Corporal Neshawn Jubilee about his involvement in Special Olympics and putting some spotlight on them and what they do. But he's also involved with something a little bit more athletic.
And this is neat. This is cool. We're excited to talk about it.
Yes. So, Corporal, please tell us about sort of the final leg. Introduce us to what that is and what else is going on that you're participating in, because it's a lot and it's awesome.
Sure. Yeah. So the final leg, it's a 2025 Law Enforcement Torch Run final leg for Special Olympics in Turin, Italy. That's the long term for it. But we're going to shorten it to the LETR final leg.
Perfect.
So I don't have to say that every single time. But basically, it's a culmination of officers and volunteers from different states that are represented. And we travel to Turin, Italy, coming up here in March. We'll leave. We'll be there from March 1st to March 8th. It will be the Torch Run. And we're basically there to raise awareness throughout the different cities. We're going to have mile runs here, 2 mile runs there, but we're running through different cities, holding the torch, carrying the flame. There's athletes, there's a logistics team. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I have a million questions.
No, sure.
Let's begin with, how did you either apply for or get selected? What is the process?
Sure. So every state is represented generally for the final leg. So our area programs, they select volunteers from different states to go. I don't have to apply. I didn't apply. I was approached by our program based on my involvement in Special Olympics on the shore and the things that I do there. They asked me if I wanted to participate this year.
Seems like an easy.
Of course, you're going to say yes. I don't think you're going to say no to that opportunity. But no, so they selected me, and they said, "Hey, do you want to go? These are the dates." I said, "Absolutely." And at the time, I didn't know a whole lot about what it involved. But let me tell you, since then, I've been planning and training and running and all those sorts of things just to make sure that we're up to speed.
I was going to say, what does that running and training process look like?
The thing.
Let me live vicariously.
Well, that was one of my first.
That
was one of my first questions. I'll lift weights all day long, but I'm not a big runner, but I am now. And it's great. But there's different runs every single day. So March 1st will be our first official run in Turin, Italy. I'll be there on the 26th, but our first official run will be March 1st, and we'll run through various cities. Carrying the torch, the flame of hope, with the athletes as well, and it's a group of us. There's about 81 law enforcement officers, and we'll just run. And there's people cheering us on and clapping and things like. There's ceremonies where we'll stop, we'll speak. The athletes will come out with us and have their speeches and things along those lines. But it's 8 days of different runs, a mile here, 2 miles there, 3 miles, things like that. So it's very active while we're there.
Yeah.
And are you training with a weight in your hand to get used to this? How does that go?
Well, when you're running, your arms are constantly up. So, I just make sure our hands stay up, so we're strong enough. But the cool thing is there's 81 of us, so we'll all take turns kind of rotating through and holding that torch with an athlete, which is very cool, very neat experience. So. But it's eight full days.
Wow.
And have you already had any contact with some of those other guys that are also doing this, or are you going to kind of meet them in person when you get over there?
We have, yeah. So we're all broken down into teams. There's 8 teams. There's anywhere from 8 to 10 officers on a team, which includes officers from different states, as well as athletes from the different areas as well. We've had Zoom meetings, calls, all kinds of logistical plannings. Every day there's a blog we follow, different tips and things, what to pack, what to bring, make sure you have your passport. That's the biggest one.
You're gonna need that one.
Yep.
How many miles have you ran today? That's the other one that they ask you, because again, it's very physical. But so we've met, we've talked. There's fundraising components as well. So, we bounce ideas off of each other about how to fundraise for a polar plunge that we're also going to have out there.
Fantastic.
Which is very fun. That's a fun part too. So.
Yes.
Are you brushing up on any like little Italian or anything?
I probably should. I am excited about the food though. I will say that.
Yes.
But I probably should brush.
Well, you're going to burn off every calorie anyway.
Exactly.
So.
You got to have the carbs. So.
Well, what an incredible and inspiring journey, I think, that you will be able to not only experience while you're there, but bring back with you and share with others. So maybe we'll check back in.
I was going to say, take lots of pictures, bring them back. We'd love to have you back to talk about it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do and for coming in here to chatting with us today about what's coming up, because it's so cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, we do have some more Coast Life for you as well. I know we're keeping an eye on that weather and that darn S word, but we'll get to that on the way.
Wheel of Fortune and National Geographic spin around the world.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready. So many trips and so much cash. I love it.
Tuesday at 7 on Coast TV.
The excitement returns.
Fantastic game.
Players from the past are back.
The Jeopardy Invitational Tournament.
Tuesday at 7:30 on Coast TV.
Look out. Throws it down.
Eddles from way downtown knocks it down to send the Vikings to the halftime break.
Johnson has to skip it inside. Nice feed to Traore. Got it and a foul.
Hoops happen on the Delmarva Sports Network. All the heart, hustle, and hometown pride. From tip-offs to buzzer-beating plays, don't miss a moment of the action. High school hoops all season long on DSN and DSN Plus. Download the app today. Delmarva Sports Network. Local teams, big dreams. Track the storm with Coast TV First Alert Weather. Weather coverage that prioritizes you, your safety, our commitment.
Signs of poor eyesight aren't always clear to us. At Wink Vision Center, we provide the best possible standard of care to discover the signs and improve your vision. Our eye exams are fast, easy, and comfortable to ensure you and your family can see clearly as soon as possible. Shop the finest selection of designer frames from Tiffany to Vera Wang, Maui Jim, and Urkers. Need an appointment? We can get you in as soon as the next day. The choice is clear. Wink Vision, Ocean City and Cambridge.
Be a part of the ultimate outdoor experience at the DSN Outdoors Expo. Join us Friday, April 25th from 3 to 8 and Saturday, April 26th from 10 to 4 at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. Showcase your products and services to thousands of potential customers. Increase your brand awareness and reach a large audience at the DSN Outdoors Expo. For more information and to apply as a vendor today, visit WBOCEvents.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Gamey Elliott in Salisbury today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know, we always love when we get the opportunity to talk to meteorologist, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams around these parts. I don't always love when this is the reason, but we're going to bring him in anyway because, Paul, we have more SNOW.
You sound like you're rooting for a team. SNOW, go Snow.
Yeah, it's going to come this way anyway. So tell us, what are we dealing with and how much snow should people be ready for?
Okay, so here's the thing. At first, it was going to be Snowmageddon. but it's not going to be that anymore. So that's always a good thing. What was happening is that there's this thing where we can stack up everything in the atmosphere, but in a certain way where it can dump several ways of heavy snow in our neck of the woods. Well, this was going to have to line up perfectly, and we're going to have what's called bombing that would happen into this system. Now, when I'm talking about bombing, I'm talking about when you're talking about the millibar levels or the pressure gradient, well, not the pressure gradient, the actual pressure of the low pressure system that will go deeper very quick over land, which would deepen the storm and make it stronger. That is now, instead of happening over land, is going to happen over the water. Since that's the case, it won't hook so quick towards us, and it'll go straight out to the water a little bit more. So we're going to get grazed by the storm instead of a direct hit. Even with the grazing of this storm, because it's so big and so robust, we're still going to be watching out for about 2 to 3 inches of snow at the very least in most locations, and down towards, let's say, Fenwick Island over here. Come here, camera guy. See right here in Fenwick Island, see I'm showing you right here? See that darker purple here? Fenwick Island, Ocean Pines, and all that. Now, these are all the winds that's coming down. But right here, this is the newest run right now. So right here, this cut off Ocean Pines, Fenwick Island, and south throughout Ocean City. That's where I'm looking at 4 inches of snow. And it could blossom up to about 6. All these other gradients that we hear, or the different color changes we hear, that's where you're going to go between 1, 2, 3, and all that. But that deeper purple, I don't know why everybody calls that blue. But anyway, the deeper purple, that's where I'm looking at it getting up to about 4 at the very least, and could get up to as much as 6. So right now it's a moving target because it's been going willy-nilly on all the different models. They haven't been agreeing so much, have been more argumentative with each other than agreeing. But right now I'm pretty with high confidence that we are looking at least 2 to 3 inches of snow for everybody at the very least at this point, and 4 down to Fenwick Island and south of that.
Well, thank you, Paul, for keeping us in the loop. It sounds like we are still going to get some snow, just not the huge dumping that earlier this week it looked like we might get. Good news for us, still want to have that shovel, still want to be ready. You still want to stay with us, because more Coast Life is next.
It's Vernon Powell's winter clearance. Save up to 50% off shoes and boots, up to half off apparel and handbags. Winter clearance markdowns throughout the store on over 200 brands. Don't miss the winter clearance event at Vernon Powell, happening now in Salisbury and Rehoboth Beach.
Unwind, work off stress, and be comfortably true to who you are with Jab and Flow. We're dedicated to creating a balance of physical and mental wellness for your best life. You don't have to get in the ring, be a hardcore yogi, or train like a pro athlete to become part of our community. We teach boxing fundamentals with a fun variety of yoga, Pilates, and fitness classes for drop-ins and members of all levels. On Route 1 between Rehoboth and Dewey with plenty of free parking.
3 brands, 2 locations, 1 choice. Delaware Hot Tub Company, turning hot tub dreams into reality for over a decade.
Offering the most luxurious spas like hot springs and Caldera.
Now, Platinum Spas too, starting under $10,000.
Ask us about free covers, free steps, free local delivery, and 0% financing too.
Save time, save money.
And upgrade your lifestyle with the first choice in the first state,
Delaware Hot Tub Company. Hot tubs, hotter prices. Delaware Hot Tub Company, Millsboro, and Lewis.
DSN Plus is more energy, extra live games and on-demand replays, anytime, anywhere. DSN Plus is more hype. From playoff matchups in unified football to marching band showcases, we highlight what makes Delmarva unique. DSN Plus is more hometown pride. We go wherever our teams go, with up to 5 live games every weeknight. DSN is still free on air and cable, but get even more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Hi, I'm Chris Adams, owner of Mattress Peddlers, your local family-owned mattress retailer. Have you ever heard someone say, I'd love to spend $8,000 on an air mattress? No? Me neither. So why break the bank for a mattress you're going to set once and never adjust again? If you need a solution for separate firmnesses for each side of the bed, there's a Split King that can do the job. Your comfort is important, but so is your bank account. Choose wisely.
Mattress Peddlers. For more information, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Stay ahead of our ever-changing coastal climate with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. From the early morning to the late evening, our team is always at work to deliver the accurate forecasts you need. Whether bracing for a stormy day or enjoying a peaceful indoor moment, we're here to ensure you're fully prepared for Delmarva's diverse weather patterns. The Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. With us, the weather is more than a forecast. It's a part of life.
The WBOC News app has the stories that matter to you.
giving you up-to-the-minute news whenever you want it. Watch WBOC News live. Set up alerts for breaking news. Choose topics that mean the most to you. And report news in real time. Download the WBOC News app today.
Capture your favorite moments at the Coast TV photo booth. Strike a pose and snap a pic, all for free. View previous pictures and see the next event at coasttv.com under the Features tab. The Coast TV photo booth, sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Hard workers need tough gear. Vernon Powell has the toughest and most comfortable workwear in the business. Work boots that work hard, like Timberland Pro, Carolina, and Red Wing, to Carhartt and Darn Tough socks. Only at Vernon Powell in Salisbury and Rehoboth.
Well, we left Charlie downstairs with Paul Williams to get ready for Coast TV News at 5, where we will be keeping an eye on any winter weather that is headed our way. There's so much more with what's going on in our area, just like we will with some more Coast Life tomorrow. We've had tons of fun and a lot of education today on Coast Life, which you know I'm a big fan of, but we'll do it all again tomorrow on Coast Life. For now, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will hanging out with you. Coast TV News at 5 is coming up next. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.